it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and today we're going to continue our series of videos about IPR, interproximal reduction, and how you can use it in various orthodontic modalities. So we already talked about straight wire, and we talked about phase 1 interceptive, we talked about aligners, Invisalign, and now we're going to talk about retention. And no, I don't do that much IPR and retention, so let's talk about which ones where you can and where you can't. So obviously, makes no sense to do it here with a bonded retainer. Makes no sense to do it with a Holly retainer, be it wraparound or 3 to 3. I don't think that's going to do anything for you. If you had a little bit of relapse and you had a retainer like this or this, either an Essex or a Vivera or a spring retainer that has, these both have active potential. That means if you have these retainers and if you, oopsies, forgot to wear your retainer for a few days, you went off to camp, you went to a friend's house, you went out of town, you forgot to pack them, you get home, you put the retainer in and it feels kind of tight, then it might be an option to add some IPR to that case. First thing I'd recommend that you do is put the retainer in full time for a few weeks to a month. See what you can get. Obviously, it's going to be extremely sore the first few days. You just got to push through it, take some Motrin, because that just means your teeth moved and it's starting to move it back. You want to, hopefully you can get 100% movement back. More likely to get it in this, because this covers the tooth structure 100%, whereas this doesn't cover the top part. It's just a wire here and some acrylic there. So it's not going to quite do the same thing, but you might get a little bit. If the patient came back into me and they're like, hey, I wore my retainer full time for a month after I didn't wear it for a few days and this tooth is still a little bit not perfect, then sometimes what I'll do is I'll bust out some IPR strips. So if I use, let's say if I was using Garrison Fit strips, I would literally just use the 0.1 millimeter one, the super small one, or a lightning strip, or a composite finishing strip, and just zip it. Just go in between the contact and lightly zip it. So you go with your floss and you find which ones have heavy, heavy, heavy contacts, assuming that something does. Just to make sure there's freedom to move. And that's all I do is just zip it. Now, of course, patient needs to understand that if it doesn't move, there's going to be an open contact there, and then the patient, you are not responsible for this. So I definitely write out a quick blurb before I did that, just saying, look, I'm doing this at no charge as a courtesy. If this opens the contact and if it's unable to close with the retainer, it is your choice then to purchase additional aligners at X amount to finish the case. So this is a courtesy. If it doesn't work, patient can't get upset at you. All right, so thanks so much. So if you're also a consumer and you're in these situations, it's a conversation you can have with your doctor. All right, thanks so much.